Hey everyone, it's Liz, and today we are going to make some adorable Christmas decorations with the help of my Xtool S1. I have the S1 20-watt diode laser, which is perfect for cutting and engraving a multitude of items like wood, MDF, dark acrylic, silicone. It can even engrave tumblers. Everything came really well packaged, and the setup with their manual instructions was so easy to assemble. Everything that you need comes with your laser, like the air assist, so once you have it, you can plug it in and go. I was able to fit it onto an IKEA table in my home and exhaust the hose out the window. It has a 20 by 13 working bed area and works with Lightburn, or you can use their own software, which I find really beginner friendly and easy to use. If you've ever used Cricut Design Space before, you'll be able to handle this software no problem. So let's jump in with our first project. I am going to take this wood that I picked up from Home Depot. It is around 4 foot tall and it is a 12-inch board. I am going to paint the whole thing white, but leaving a little frame around the edges. I'm just using my Waverly chalk paint in white, and I gave that one good coat. Once that's dry, I'm going to take my Waverly Wax and Antique, or you could use some stain, and I'm going to very roughly go around the entire frame of the sign. I wanted to make a faux frame without having to actually get out the 1x2s and make an actual frame. I thought that it would look really nice just using some stain. So I'm just wiping on the wax with a brush and then removing all the excess with a paper towel. You don't have to be precise with this. If you wanted to lay some masking tape down to get those really nice clean lines, you definitely can do that. I decided not to because I wanted it to look a little bit more messy. I also did some little dashes here and there throughout the sign, and then took my paper towel and just rubbed them down a little bit, and I thought it made a fun distressed look. Now we're going to take this stencil and I am going to lay this down on my board. I'm going to do this to the top and to the bottom. So I just laid this down, centered it as best as I could, attached it to the sign with some masking tape, and then I used some Waverly paint. I believe it is in Scallion. I could be completely wrong, but I used some Waverly paint to paint on the little Grinch heads just with a roller. I'm going to take that off and then reposition it to give me 2 more rows of Grinch heads, and then I will do the exact same thing to the bottom. Now I'm going to go over to my Xtool software. I am going to open up this SVG that I made. So once I have it positioned into my software, I am going to do some autofocus on it. Make sure that the laser beam is focused to the height of the wood that you're using. You're also going to frame everything out so that you make sure that your image is cutting out where you want it to cut. And then you click Go to Process to start the cutting. So I'm just going to start by opening up my window, exhausting that hose out the window so none of those fumes or the wood burning smell is going into my home and it is going outside. I'm going to add my material to the laser bed, and then I will autofocus my material so that everything is nice and in focus. Frame everything out so I know where it's going to cut, and then close the lid and you're ready to go. Once I had all the pieces for my projects, I took them all outside and spray painted them. This saved me so much time rather than hand painting everything. I also took the wood from where I cut everything out for this project and used it as a guide for my sign, so everything was nice and spaced out evenly and everything was the way that I wanted it to, so nothing was crooked. I'm just using my wood glue, super glue that you can find at the Dollar Tree, adding those into my little, I guess, frame, you can call it, where I cut everything out of. I don't know what you're gonna call that, but I put it in there, lifted that up, and then you have everything nice and straight and even. Then the last thing I'm going to do to glue down is just glue down his hand. You have his sleeve, the little ruffles, and then his hand right there. So I'm gonna glue all of that down. I'm going to take some painter's tape and create a couple stripes. So I laid my first stripe down all the way across, added some painter's tape as a guide in between the stripes, laid my third piece of painter's tape down, and then I'll follow that exact same step for another stripe. So I'm going to have 2 stripes on the bottom and 2 stripes on the top. Once that's all laid out, I'm just going to take a foam brush and some red chalk paint and paint those stripes red. Before it has time to dry, I like peeling my painter's tape off right away, and it turned out great. The very last thing I'm going to do is take these adorable pics that I found at Hobby Lobby with the Grinch fuzziness. I thought they looked like Grinch hands. They were so cute. I picked up 2 of those and then made this really rough bow using some ribbon that I also found at Hobby Lobby. I'm just going to staple these to the top of my sign and you're done. I love how this turned out. I love the 3D look with the Merry Grinchmas and his hand, and it was so easy to cut out and assemble. I got the inspiration for this sign from Painted by Mandy over on Facebook. I'll have her Facebook page linked down below. She has some of these SVGs for sale, and I just loved it so much I had to recreate it, and I think it turned out so adorable. For this next project, again, we're going to go over to our Xtool S1, and I am going to score and cut out some MDF for this backing sign. I love this pattern, especially for Christmas, and I thought this was perfect. I'm going to take that outside. I am going to spray paint it. Again, using spray paint is so much easier than hand painting your signs, and you don't have to dig out the paint through all those engraved lines. Now I am going to again take this merry and bright piece that I cut out, and I am going to use what we cut out as a template so that I can have my words nice and straight on the sign. I'm going to use my wood glue super glue that I always use from the Dollar Tree. It's perfect. It's great. It works just as good as wood glue in my opinion, especially for indoor signs like these. I'm just going to fill in all of my words. Once I have all of my letters in their spots, I'm going to take that, and that was just a little bit too flimsy to put in there. I didn't want it to get stuck in that little template. So first I'm going to take my paint pen, paint it black, and then I will just lay that down and glue it right to the sign. And there you have it. Super easy. This took maybe 15 minutes total plus some paint drying time. It was so extremely easy to get this cut out and make your very own Christmas sign. For this project, I grabbed this round from Hobby Lobby. I am going to paint the entire thing with 1 coat of white paint. I didn't need total full coverage, but just a thin layer was perfect for this project. I went over to my Xtool and I cut everything out. I found this file on Etsy. I imported it into the Xtool software, measured it down to that 16-inch sign, cut everything out, and then spray painted all my pieces. For some of the little detail on the Grinch head, I took my black paint pen, painted that, and then it had all these little bubbles. I painted those red and green, and then for the ho ho ho, I just used a black marker. Now I'm going to start assembling everything onto our sign. So there's the silhouette of the Grinch head. I'm going to assemble his face just using that wood glue super glue, lining it up to the edge of the sign, filling in any little pieces that go on his face, adding the fluff of his hat, the hat itself, just putting everything where it goes. It's kind of like building a puzzle. It's really fun. Next, we'll add our ho 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 onto the sign and then add our little dots around. There was really no rhyme or reason to where I put the dots. I just tried to mix up the green and the red. And that's all you have to do. This was super simple, super easy. There are so many files over on Etsy for you to just download. You don't have to design anything. You can just upload it to the Xtool software and cut it all out straight from there. It's such an easy and simple process. I think this year I'm going to decorate with a Grinch theme. Let me know if you want to see an entire Grinch video. Heading back to our Xtool S1, I cut out this arch using some MDF. I thought that this paired with a Christmas tree was going to look so adorable. I also used some Dollar Tree blanks to cut out this Christmas tree, so keep that in mind. If you have a laser and you're at Dollar Tree, you can actually pick up those wood blanks and use those to cut out, and they cut out perfectly. So I started by spray painting everything. I spray painted my arches black. I was going for a very kind of modern type vibe with this, nothing too bright or crazy, and then I spray painted the tree just with a regular old green. For the star at the top, I'm just going to use some rub and buff that all over the star, and then I'm going to start assembling all my pieces on the tree, just using, again, that wood glue super glue and attaching all of the tree pieces to the tree itself. Once everything's glued down, I wanted my tree to look like it had some snow on it, so I'm just going to do a little dry brushing with some white paint, just taking a chip brush from the Dollar Tree, dabbing off any excess paint, and then going over all the edges at the top of the tree on all of those top branches, those 3D pieces. Last thing I'm going to do is glue down the tree to the arch, and look how cute this turned out. I love it so much. Again, this was so easy. Everything cut out perfectly. Another thing that I love about Xtool is it tells you how long each thing is going to take to cut out, so you have a time frame for each of your projects. And this went relatively quickly for both the arch and the trees, and I just loved it so much. For this project, again, we're going to go into our Xtool software. I'm going to import these Christmas lights that I found in a file from Etsy. Again, all you got to do is just import it right into the software. It pops up, and that's all you have to do. You can move it around onto your cutting area. I needed 5 of these since there are 5 people in my family, so all I did was just copy and paste 5 times until I had as many as I wanted. And then you can type out words, names, anything that you want to cut out. I wanted all of our names to be on these light bulbs because I wanted these to go on our stockings. So I'm going to find some fonts that I like. At first, I cut out these fonts, and then I realized that it was going to be so much easier if I chose a cursive font. So later I go back and choose a cursive font so all the letters are nice and stuck together. But I cut everybody's names out. You're going to go into those pieces. You're going to make sure that it is the setting that you want. You can score, engrave, or cut. I need mine to be cut, so I'm going to make sure that is selected. Those 3 little dots to the right of the frame button, that is how you control your laser. You can tap on those arrows and move that laser head around. You can also change the material to make it really simple and easy. I'm just going to click on the 3mm birch plywood, click confirm, and that is going to change the settings automatically for me, so I don't need to worry about the settings. It's just going to do it automatically. If you're using their material guide, then it is super simple and easy. Once you're ready, you're just going to click go to process and cut everything out. So again, I used a piece of wood that came from the Dollar Tree, cut everything out. Everything cut out really, really well. I don't have any problems when it comes to the Dollar Tree wood. Everything is great every time. I'm going to start painting those. I decided I wanted kind of those Christmassy, lime green, Grinchy colors. I'm going to do the red on 3 of them and then that lime green on 2 of them. For the little pieces at the top, I'm going to use my gold rub and buff on all 5 of those pieces. And then for the names themselves, I just used a white paint pen and painted all the names. Then using that same good old wood glue super glue, I'm going to assemble all the tops on the top, all the names onto the light bulbs, and then you can put this on your stockings for the name tags, which I think is really cute. You could hang these on a banner. I have some displayed just with my felt ball little banner here, and I just think it's really cute. I think it's adorable. These names on stockings are super popular, so if you wanted to sell them, you could do that as well. Create a little business, whether you're just a hobbyist or you're a small business owner. I think using a laser machine is a great way to expand your creativity, expand what you can offer to your customers. I personally think the Xtool S1 is a great beginner friendly, cost effective, or to your hobby. I think it's really fun. It really is so easy to use. Like I said, if you've used Cricut Design Space, you can definitely use the Xtool software. So beginner friendly. And I just think it's a really great option if you have never used a laser before. I'll leave Xtool linked down in my description box. Let me know which project was your favorite in the comments down below. And if you own an Xtool, let me know how you like it down in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe before you guys leave. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!